What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another video, and I thought today we would take a look at Hawk from G.I. Joe. I have both the modern kind of 25th anniversary version that's ungraded, and I also have the graded vintage version. And so I thought we'd take a look at the two and compare and contrast them, and you can see how the figure molds and the technology has improved for making some of these figures as we compare them. And you know, first of all, I will say this: Hawk was a very, very bland action figure. Much like his character in the comics and in the TV show, he was just, you know, he was basically the field commander for G.I. Joe. But there wasn't there wasn't a lot going on upstairs, if you know what I mean. I mean, you know, he didn't come across as a very dynamic character. But let's take a look at him anyway. I got this one as part of an estate sale maybe 6 months or a year ago. This is a 1986 Hasbro G.I. Joe Series 5 34-back Hawk. It's an 85 near mint plus. The card and blister got an 85 and the figure got a 90. So a very high quality, high grade figure. I believe that there was an explosion background for this figure. This one has kind of the digital lines, the red, yellow, and white lines, but I believe there was an explosion figure, which is on the modern figure, and I'll show you that in a second. But here's Hawk. I had him growing up, and I did play with him quite a bit. I don't know why I liked him so much, because he really is. When you compare him to some of the other G.I. Joes out there, he's a pretty boring figure. But you know, this is a very high quality, 90 grade figure. The camo is in really sharp condition. You can see the belt buckle there. You know, they did some nice things with it, with the colors, for given that this figure's 32 years old. But this one also included a battle ribbon. There was a series of them in 1986 where they were giving away kind of a battle ribbon, and you can see that behind the figure there. He had a removable helmet, a backpack, and a pistol. The pistol you see in the artwork, and the bubble here has those accessories. On the back of the card, you can see here his file card. I won't read through the whole thing, but he was basically the original field commander before he got his general star, and he was quote-unquote booted upstairs. So he must have been pretty good at his job, unlike me. Here's some of the other figures that were available at the time. These were Series 4 and 5 figures. So you had some of the this is kind of right during the height of G.I. Joe's popularity. But some of the more popular figures you can see in here: Law and Order, Cobra Commander in his armored gear. Big Bo is one of my favorites, even though he's kind of a ridiculous character. Same with Crock Master. The Techno Viper I do have in grading right now. But there's a number of very, very nice figures. The Bat I have graded as well. I also have a Dr. Mindbender on the way, so we'll open that up when it arrives. But the rest of these I do not have, but I'm working on it slowly but surely. But anyway, here's his file card. It's the gray background. I don't believe there was a peach background for the Hawk card, for the Hawk figure. But kind of a bland figure, but for whatever reason, he was one of my favorites growing up, so I had to get him. And here is the modern 25th anniversary version. There was 3 or 4 different card backs for the 25th anniversary Joes. This one has the G.I. Joe cartoon logo in the upper right. There was also one that had in the upper right the 25th anniversary logo. And there was also one with the 25th anniversary logo, but it had a foil, kind of silvery, shiny G.I. Joe logo. Those are the most sought after in general. But as you can see, the artwork is exactly the same, except this one does have the explosion background, which I do believe was available for the vintage Hawk. His face sculpt is nothing like the original. I'll pull him up real quick so you can compare the two, but a pretty significant difference in the face sculpt. But the outfit remains largely the same, just with some minor updates. And you do have the holster on the side, as well as it looks like a holster on his chest. So 2 holsters. The backpack is actually a very, very similar mold to the original, so that was a nice throwback. As you can see, the original had a canteen. It's a little bit larger, but a very, very similar kind of style to the backpack that was included with the figure. And the helmet is removable, so they kept true to that. But really, honestly, it's just updates to the figure mold, with some better wrinkling, things like that. And obviously the face sculpt is quite a bit different. On the back of the card, you can see some of the other 25th anniversary figures. A lot of these were, you know, some of the originals from 83 and 84 that they've updated. The file card is exactly the same. The only thing they've changed is they put G.I. Joe Hulk instead of Hulk, and I have no idea why they did that. But that's really the only difference in this file card. The rest of the language is exactly the same. So, but anyway, it's interesting to compare, to see how Hasbro decided to update these. You know, they've done the vast majority of them at this point, including some other new molds and new kind of variants that were, you know, very welcome additions. But, you know, Hulk is definitely one of the main characters from the comics and from the TV series, so I knew that he was going to be added eventually. But he was not, you know, he was not an early run from the 25th anniversary re-releases. I think he was in like the third or fourth wave. So anyway, that's about all I got. You can see the comparisons there, but I just thought it'd be kind of fun to take a look at the differences. Hope all's well, and I will be back soon.